Alright, hello gamers, Muckluck here, and today is Tuesday, October 8th, and we are gathered here today to mourn the loss of our dear Heel Scourge, and also to go over the new patch notes, as well as the changes that we know of that have hit the Guild Wars 2 game today. As always, the links are down below, so if you don't want to hear my voice, don't complain about it in the comments section, just go read the freaking patch notes. They're linked down below. Anyway, here we go. Game update notes, October 8th, 2024. Note to users of third-party programs, your stuff may be broken. That is the usual thing. Also, I will say that there was a brief moment of joy where we scrolled down and we saw that Necromancer was not nerfed into the ground. However, it appears that these notes do not include the notes from the preview that they released earlier. So, like, there's certain things that are not mentioned in here which did, in fact, hit the game today, like the Necromancer Transfusion nerf. So, just pointing that out early on. General, fixed an issue that prevented the "is this a scratching post?" achievement from updating properly. Fixed an issue that prevented Jadebot workbench decorations from recognizing users who placed a workbench nearby and immediately attempted to interact with it. Description text has been added to the Thesis on Speed Effect tooltip. The Conjured Doorway can now be summoned in Drytop, the Silverwaste, Arborstone, Verdant Brink, and Lion's Arch Aerodrome. Nice. It was kind of odd that you couldn't summon that in those locations. There's still quite a few others that you can't, but that's good, because those are some frequently traveled areas.
Thank you so much for all you do for the community as well as your promised upcoming hot tub stream.
Oh my god.
We're all looking forward to it.
I did not. Thank you for the sub. I did not. Alright. To keep the troll party from getting out of hand, events on Lowland Shore are no longer group events. The event's completion timers have been increased. Yeah, those were a bit tight. I have had those events fail even when there was like 2 or 3 people there, so I could totally see the need for that. Refine the criteria for the away from keyboard timer to prevent it from counting non-combat damage sources, such as falling or self-inflicted damage, as entering combat. I would imagine that something like this could have been abused before by, there is a Herald build where you can do a corruption with a facet and just constantly put like a little bit of torment on yourself. And I guess people were using that to stay logged in forever or something. Improve the precision with which decoration placement checks for valid decoration space near areas where no decorations are allowed, such as the waypoint in Hearth's Glow. Okay, and one second, I'm just going to pause alert so that doesn't happen again. Relic of Rivers, reduce the alack duration, no, from 2 seconds to 1 second, and the regen duration from 3 seconds to 2 seconds at PvP only. Oh, if it's PvP only, that's fine. This is one of those things that it's kind of busted in other game modes, but in World V, in PvE, just in open world, let people have their fun with the Relic of Rivers. It's silly. All right, Warclaw mount. Players are now able to dismount the Warclaw in mid-air in all game modes. Fixed an issue that caused combat mounting to fail when auto attack was enabled. Is that why it would sometimes not work? Updated the Feral Fury Mastery's text to indicate that only the Lance and Battle Maul engage skills gain increased crowd control. Reduced Lance's knockdown time in PvE from a baseline of 2.5 to 1.25 seconds. Updated Battle Maul engages description to indicate its current functionality. It delivers a double strike to enemies within a radius of 180 and stuns them for 2 seconds, reduced from 3 seconds. Updated the skill facts of the skill. This skill is now affected by Feral Fury's control increase. Updated the skill's visual effect to help identify the different attack regions. Nice. Yeah, there was a few things. Also, the Lance's knockdown. This one was pretty insane. I think I tweeted about this a while back, but the Warclaw Lance, if you used it on the a break bar, it was ridiculous. Like, you could keep in mind you can fire the lance like 4 times in a row, and is 2.5 second stun per lance. Like, it would chunk break bars. So I'm not at all surprised they're doing this. It was fun while it lasted, but I'm not at all surprised that they're nerfing that. Okay, where were we? Items. The off-season Halloween vendor in Hooligan's Route now stocks a much larger assortment of Halloween items for players who wish to purchase items with candy corn. after the event has ended, including recipes for homestead decorations. Oh, there we go. We were all kind of anticipating they would add homestead Halloween stuff, and here it is. Added Wings of the Sunless and Endless Fractal Challenge Moat tonics to Zotric's shop inventory in Hooligan's Route in Lion's Arch. The birthday vendor in Lion's Arch will now also sell the Dragon Decade Spear Skin to players who have finished 10 objectives in the Decade of the Dragon's achievement, in addition to players who have completed the Birthday Year 10 achievement. So really quick, all of those mentioned merchants that they discussed just a minute ago are in Lion's Arch, and they're in this cave over here. There's a bunch of script that have all the year-round holiday merchants. So just so you know where that is. World v World. General, to reduce confusion, the Join Team button on World Restructuring Beta tab of World v World panel is no longer displayed for players who are already on a team. Objectives will now remain contested, and the Repel the Enemy Attackers event will restart if the objective's lord is dead when the event finishes. Profession skills. Once again, a reminder that this does not include the previous notes that they released with some pretty major things, such as the transfusion nerf. All right, Mechanist, Barrier Burst, increase might duration from 15 seconds to 20 in PvE. A welcome change. I don't really think Mechanists suffered at all with keeping might up. Between Barrier Burst and just the fact that every time the mech punches, it pulses might. That was usually really easy for them to keep their might up, but okay, sure, it's welcome. Mech Frame, Channeling Conduits. This trait now applies might instead of Alacrity in World v World only. Yet another quickness or alacrity nerf in the competitive game modes. Guardian, Solar Storm. This skill now deals reduced damage on subsequent hits to the target. Reduce the damage coefficient from 1.8 to 1.5 in PvE only. I'm not sure if this part is all game modes and this part, the second part is PvE, or if the whole thing is PvE. I know in PvP, when I was trying out the push beta, I wouldn't say it was overpowered, but this thing really, really hurt. Like, it felt like it was Warrior Spear and Guardian Spear. They were both just trying to land and immobilize on you and then do the rain, and then, you know, it would just, you'd get chunked. Mesmer. Restorative Illusions. Reduce the healing power scaling from 0.46 to 0.3 in PvP. Reduce the base healing with no clones from 360 to 219. Illusionary Inspiration. Reduce the outgoing healing increase from 15% to 10%. PvP only. Temporal Enchanter. Reduce the resistance duration from 3 to 2 seconds of PvP. Reduce the super speed duration from 3 to 2 seconds of PvP and World v World. Journey, reduce the base healing from 719 to 527 and reduce the regeneration duration from 4 seconds to 2 in PvP. Signet of Inspiration, increase the cooldown from 20 seconds to 30 seconds in PvP only. Mirage, Split Surge, reduce the might per hit from 2 to 1 in World v World only, and reduce the damage coefficient per hit from 0.45 to 0.36 in World v World only. Phantom Razor, it fixed an issue that was causing the skill to daze when used by a clone, which was not supposed to happen. Necromancer Locust Swarm now grants swiftness to allies in addition to its previous effects. Okay, so, something I've been saying for a little bit now, ever since they announced the transfusion nerf, is if you have a Necro, support Scourge Necromancer, and you take away their ability to frequently revive people, you are left with a Mechanist that does not have swiftness or stability for its teammates. That's their swiftness. I would have to check the numbers to see if it's 100% uptime. You guys can let me know in the comment section down below. But now it is possible for a Necro to give their group swiftness, which is nice. I don't know that it makes up for what they're losing, but it's nice. Perforate, increase the number of targets from 3 to 5. Extirpate, we're talking about spear skills now. The skill no longer inflicts extirpation in World v World of PvP. It will continue to apply extirpation in PvE. Extirpate, no longer extirpations. What's the point of it? Ritual of Life, increase the revive percentage from 2% to 3.5% in PvE only. I believe Ritual of Life was the trait that allows your Well of Bloods to help with the pulsing revive. I assume they're doing this. They nerfed this into the ground sometime in the past. I assume they're giving it back a little bit because of the transfusion nerf. Transfusion, increase revive percentage when the Scourge Elite specialization is equipped from 1% to 2 in PvE only. Now that's from 1 to 2 per pulse, and it does quite a few pulses, but it's helpful. It's the fact that you can't pull them and reposition them is still going to be kind of rough. Scourge Trail of Anguish. This skill now grants its initial boons to nearby allies in PvE only. Increase the cooldown from 20 seconds to 25 PvE. And there's the stability. There's the stability. All right, so I said that it would be a mechanist without stab and without swiftness. They just got stab and swiftness. Trail of Anguish can technically give your group stability, but it's like you're drawing a line with a pencil and they have to be touching that line on the ground in order to get the stab. It is not feasible in a realistic situation because you have to basically do like the family circus and touch all of them with your feet in order to make it happen. And Logan's constantly running from you because he's playing hard to get with the feet thing. All right, so Trail of Anguish, I assume it is now just going to pulse the stability around you instantly, which will allow it to be used in realistic scenarios. So they've got a stability on cooldown. They have swiftness if they are running Warhorn as one of their things. Now, they will still have some unique revive tools, right? It is important to say that they do still exist. They've got the Well of Blood, which will do some pulsing revive. They have the Lesser Well of Blood on the trait, which will do some pulsing AoE revive. Transfusion will still do some pulsing revive. Signet of Undeath is a cooldown-based res that guy over there that takes a chunk of your health away and gets that guy up. That's your emergency button. And you still have the extremely powerful passive of Blood Magic that allies near you don't bleed out. So as long as they're not in a puddle, you are not on a timer to save them, which is very powerful. That said, losing the ability to reposition people, they've definitely lost something that makes them unique and gained the stuff they were missing to be compared with mechanists. So they're very much extremely similar to all the other supports now, except they're one of the barrier supports and they have a little bit of revive tools, but. Yeah, Trail of Anguish also pulses swiftness. Oh, there you go. That's another thing. So, yeah. But the thing is, you want swiftness up full time. You want stability on demand. You don't want to just throw out the stability constantly and have it get eaten by stupid stuff. So I would still probably rather have it on separate things. That's like on Mechanist, you've got group Aegis and you've got group stability, but they're on the same key. So if you use one of them, you use both of them, which, yeah, it's a powerful button, but sometimes it sucks that they're on the same button. So it's just something to think about. I'm still sad to see these changes as someone who I would say Necro is probably my second most played class. I like things that make classes unique. I was sad to see, I understand the reasons for it, okay? I don't want to, be like, oh, they shouldn't have done this. I'm saying I understand the reason for it, but I was sad to see when they nerfed Epidemic into the ground, then they nerfed Boon Corrupt into the ground, and now they're drastically changing this. Like, the support Scourge as it was before, which is no longer, was a gameplay style that was a way of supporting your teammates that did not exist in other MMOs, and it was here. And now it's gone. And there are going to be people that mained that loved playing it in that way, they're going to be like, I've tried the other classes, I don't want to play one of the other classes, this is my main, and some people will probably leave the game over that, because there's not an alternative that played like that. So I find that to be unfortunate. However, that's my thoughts on that. Continuing on. Revenant. Abyssal Raise fixed an issue that caused the skill to inflict torment for a longer duration than intended. Increase the torment duration from 4 to 6 seconds in PvE only. Song of the Mist from Call of the Centaur. Reduce the base healing from 1920 to 1300, and reduce the healing power scaling from 1.0 to 0.5 in PvP only. So, dramatic nerf to the healing of that skill in PvP. Generous Abundance, reduce the base healing when using Legendary Centaur skill from 463 to 271, and reduce the base healing when using another Legend skill from 197 to 152 in PvP only. Purifying Essence, increase the cooldown from 5 seconds to 10 seconds in PvP only. Energy Expulsion, increased energy cost from 35 to 50 in PvP. Natural Harmony, reduce the healing power scaling from 1.75 to 1.0 in PvP. So the Heal Scourge is officially just another healer class now. Pretty much. Vindicator. Balance in Discord, reduce the base healing from 810 to 522, and reduce the regeneration duration from 6 seconds to 3 seconds in PvP only. Warrior Maiming Spear, reduce the initial hit damage coefficient from 1.2 to 1.1 in PvE only. Reduce the shockwave damage coefficient from 1.2 to 0.75 in PvE only. Reduce the shockwave damage bonus from 50% to 20% in PvE only. Spear Martial Support, reduce the damage coefficient from 0.6 to 0.4 in PvE. Harrier's Toss, the skill no longer evades and now applies vulnerability to enemies that it hits. Defiant Stance, increase the casting time by approximately a half second. Balance Stance, increase the cooldown from 40 seconds to 50 in PvP. Wild Throw fixed an issue that occasionally prevented certain on-hit traits such as building momentum or Sundering Burst from activating properly. Spellbreaker Cull the Weak, reduce the weakness duration from 3.5 seconds to 1.5 seconds when the Spellbreaker Elite specialization is equipped in PvP only. Full Counter, increase the cooldown from 12 seconds to 60 seconds into, I wish, 12 seconds to 14 seconds in PvP only. As, once again, warriors are glad that I am not in charge of their balance. Because although I would fix a lot of their bugs, I did a recent video on that, on a bunch of bugs that were applying to the warrior class, and sadly none of them have been fixed yet. But I would absolutely dramatically increase the cooldown of Full Counter. It does too much for a 12-second cooldown, even 14. All right. Let me refresh the page and see if they've done any last-minute additions. They have not. Okay, so that is the patch notes for today. In addition, oh, they updated this right now. Below are changes to the balance notes we previously shared. The original notes are here. Okay, so there's a link to the original notes here, which included changes like the transfusion pull. That all said, let's talk about other changes that hit the game today. First one, and this is very, very, very important. We can breakdance now. Very important. So, there is a new tome on the gem store that you can get the breakdance emote. And it is wonderful. And I will absolutely be using this in videos whenever I see an opportunity to. So, that is there. And I'm going to run away because the Naked Norn is about to do it. That is there. Additionally, the Secrets of the Obscure Expedition contract board is there if you are interested in that. And there is a few new items that we have noticed. The Black Lion chest has got a portable hot springs chair. There you go. So this is why someone was making hot tub jokes earlier at the beginning of the video. So that is there. And additionally, the Black Lion ticket vendor, which is this guy right here, has a new set of weapons called Mystical Beast. I'm going to go over to the wardrobe to make this a little easier, and we'll show these off real quick. And there's actually two things to show on these. I'm going to go through them and go back through them again, and you'll understand why in a moment. So, here's the sword, the hammer, the longbow. It's got like a tiger thing at the top. Short bow, looks like a stag. Axe, again, antlers. Let's see, dagger. Which, I can't tell what that is. Are those rabbit ears? I'm not sure what that one is. You guys can tell me. Great sword. Looks like feathers. I believe that's like a bird. Mace. Looks like there's birds on it. Pistol. There's an angry pig. And a rifle. Rabbits, I think. Scepter. As like a bear claw or a paw. And staff. I can't tell. Looks like a squirrel tail or something at the top. Focus. Angry chip. Torch. There's a fox. There's Noxxi. Warhorn. Fox again, maybe? Shield. Boars. And spear. Looks like a bunny rabbit. Okay, so going back through them, these weapons all have special draw animations where spirit animals appear next to you. Now, some of them appear off camera, so it's difficult to show them. There's a stag. The hammer, where was the hammer? I think the hammer was a boar. The longbow is a cat. The short bow is the stag. The axe is the stag. The dagger is a bunch of bunny rabbits come out and kung fu all over the place. Great sword is a bird flies by. Mace is another bird. You get the idea. These things summon different animals when you draw them. It's just kind of a cool effect. You got like a caffeine-free diet, 0-calorie legendary here with this set if you like the appearance or you like the animal thing. And just letting you know that that's there. Okay, so new stuff on the gym store, new stuff on the ticket vendors, new patch notes, and breakdancing. Very important things. I think I have covered everything that I know about for today's patch. As always, if you got any questions, problems, thoughts, concerns, put them in the comment section down below, and I'll fight you there.